Welcome back, guys. It's AP. This is obviously not Galaxy of Heroes, and no, this is not a sponsored video. I'm not getting any revenue from doing this. They're not paying me in any way. I actually just happened to find this game randomly, thought it was super fun, and thought you guys would be excited to play it with me. It's called Tacticus. It's a 40K game. It's very similar to Galaxy of Heroes, actually, which is kind of why I enjoy it. Very, roster building. It's kind of like one of those, you unlock the characters, you fight against other people. Very similar to Galaxy of Heroes in that respect. The gameplay is a little bit different. Galaxy of Heroes, you have your 5 people versus 5 people. Turn-based, kind of just go back and forth. This is the same thing, 5 versus 5, turn-based, but there's like a hex grid system that you fight, and it's very similar, and I think that's why I enjoy it. But for those of you guys who don't know the 40K universe, distant future, very, very violent, very kind of over the top in terms of, gore and violence and kind of absurdity. There is a ton of different factions right now. This game is still new, and they are actually listening to community feedback for who to add. So I think they did a community poll. I was talking to some creators who play this game, and the community wanted to add the Tau, which for those of you guys who don't know is like a even more futuristic than the rest of the futuristic people. They have crazy weapons and do a bunch of weird shit. And a big fan favorite in the community, so they're adding them. They got their, space elves and the black, the orcs are my favorite by far. So on my account, I actually, I'm gonna level with you guys. I enjoy this game so much. I know I don't spend money on Galaxy of Heroes. I actually spent, I think, $20 to get like a starter pack that unlocked a couple of orcs for me. And then I did like a free-to-play drop. They have like a kind of like a chest system. You can obviously pay for these, but you get one of these requisition things every time you level up, and you level up pretty quickly. And every time you do a 10 pull, you have at least one guaranteed character. So my first one ever, I got a 4th orc, and then some other cool characters that I've been really enjoying. So I've been playing a lot with the Black Legion, who are like evil chaos space marines, which are like the evil versions of this, and they're super cool. My favorite guy being, of course, Abaddon the Despoiler, because he looks fucking awesome. So I've kind of just been playing mostly with orcs and Black Legion, having a ton of fun. The great news about this game, not only is it fun and blah, 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 I reached out to a couple of creators saying, like, hey, this is a game that, like, I might want to cover. Like, let's do a collab or something like that. And they're like, hey, we can actually put you in contact with the developers of this game. So the CG of this game, I think they're called Snowprint. Talk to their community manager, their Crumb. And she was very, very open and forthcoming. She's like, hey, like, this game is just starting out. We're not a huge company. We want to work with you, the creators, and the community to make the game fun because we want to keep the game around, right? And from talking to them, I kind of noticed that they're in a very similar situation that I am personally. So that's why I kind of like this company. Is they're small and very dependent on other people being happy with the product, right? It's not like a Star Wars game where you can just put out anything and you're going to make billions, right? In order to survive, they need the player base to be kind of a part of the process and the creators to be a part of the process. And maybe it's like a little power trip for me, and I'm like, oh yes, I get to, if there's a cool character that I find in lore somewhere, I can have them added, or the community can get together and vote on new game modes, right? Like if there's a game mode that we want, we can have them work on it. And that excites me on a lot of levels, but just a fun game, a very familiar system for Galaxy of Heroes players, roster building, 5v5 PvP, raids. The raids are pretty fucking cool. And always, actually listening to the community and adding new stuff. So I'm really excited. Currently, if you guys want to play this game, I don't have like a download link because, like, I'm not sponsored or anything. And they actually don't even have like one of those paid download links that you see on like most sponsorship videos set up. So if you guys want to play, you can use like a referral code. And then if you use the referral code, we both like get their version of crystals. Their version of crystals is Blackstone. It's like the, every game has like a paid currency that you can use to do a bunch of cool shit. So if you guys use the code VAT80MAX, capital VAT-80-MAX, all caps, once you hit like level 8, which I think took me maybe 25-30 minutes, you guys get a bunch of like in-game premium rewards. I get them. So that way I don't have to spend any more money on this game, because I did spend my $20 to get my orc pack up and running. And I'm gonna tell you guys, I enjoy this game so much. I have an itch sometimes. The I don't have my wallet on me, but the old credit card comes a calling when I sleep. I wake up in a stir and I'm like, oh, APGAINS. This game is too fun. You must spend money. And now I kind of, I understand. For the longest time, I was always like, why do people spend so much money on this game? Like, I love Galaxy of Heroes, and I love Galaxy of Heroes more than a lot of you guys love Galaxy of Heroes. But I've never had the overwhelming urge to just be like, take my money now. I want this character. But maybe it's kind of that I'm new to 40K, or this game just kind of struck a nerve with me in a time when Galaxy of Heroes hasn't been striking that nerve. And, you know, like, the characters are cool. Like, I'm just really getting into this universe right now. And all of these characters are fucking awesome. They're fun. They're unique. Their abilities are cool. The, like, theory crafting of all their different abilities, unique abilities, passive abilities, special abilities, like, everything is just exciting, fun, and new. And it's kind of, I don't know what to say, like, you know, usually when people rave this much about a video game, they're getting fucking paid to do it. And I feel kind of weird that, like, in the background, I'm working on sponsorships for other games because, you know, APGAINS kind of has bills to pay, and the bills go in, fucking we balling. Sorry about that. I greatly apologize for singing Bruno Mars for you there, but you know, it's just, oh, man, it's just weird that I'm raving about this game that I'm not getting paid for over games where they pay you to rave about them, which I haven't done in years. And maybe that's just called, you know, creating a good game, good gameplay. Like, who would have thought that mobile games can do something that makes you happy, makes you excited, and keeps you wanting to come back, and then maybe they do a good enough job to where you want to support them with your hard-earned money? Like, that's a novel idea for a lot of Galaxy of Heroes players, but I've been really enjoying. This is my favorite guy right here, Boss Gulgurts. He has a, if you guys don't know anything about 40K lore, which I'm very new to it, so if you guys are huge 40K nerds and I say something wrong, I apologize. But the reason I love the orcs and they're my favorite faction is they have this, like, there's, like, think of it like the Force. It's called, like, the warp, or like this, like, there's these, like, psychers, which are like mages. I don't want to get too much into the details because I'm not super knowledgeable, but essentially orcs have this, like, innate psychic ability to where if enough of them believe something to be true, it just is true, right? Like, if I believe hard enough, like, they throw a bunch of, like, scrap metal together that looks like a gun, and if they believe it's a gun, it will shoot fucking bullets. They'll throw random shit together. If it looks like a tank, it is a tank. You know, they believe that the color red makes stuff faster. So if they paint their, like, bikes fast red, they fucking drive faster. You know what I mean? And I talked about this on stream when I was kind of overviewing this game for people live. I was like, you know, a lot of my life, I've had people tell me that, you know, you can't do something, and I just believed that I could do it hard enough, and that it happened. This YouTube channel being one of them. So many people told me this is a waste of time and it would never amount to anything, and look what fucking happened, you losers. But so I just love the orcs for that reason. And then when they go to war, they have this thing called Wa, where they just kind of, like, yell, and then they just, like, amass. Like, when someone starts a Wa, all the orcs are just like, let's go fucking fight people, because that's all they do. They're like animals in that sense. Like, they don't have these higher levels of politics and society. They just, like, fight, you know, which is very simple and very fun. And when you put a Wa together, like, everyone just goes fucking beast mode and just starts killing shit. So this guy has this ability Wa that, like, every single character within, I think it's like 3 hexes of him, just goes fucking crazy, hits extra hard, and I just popped this ability first turn. The front line, they're just fucking getting cut down by all my orcs. Oh my god, it's satisfying. The Black Templars are cool. I haven't unlocked. I think I have this guy unlocked on my main account. I haven't played too much around with them. The Aldari, which are, like, the weird, like, sex elves of space, are kind of cool. There's currently missions going on right now. Actually, when I first started, there was a mission to unlock this guy. He's apparently pretty OP. And then the Tau, there was a mission to unlock this guy who's okay. He's not great. And I think currently speaking, this mission is going on right now. So if you guys join today, you guys can get some Dark Strider shards. And then this guy, I had a little early look at the character who's going to be here. He's also pretty cool. But yeah, that's all the characters that they currently have. Obviously, like I said, they're listening to both community and content creator feedback on, you know, once the Tau gets finished up. So this guy's already made, and once they decide who this character is going to be, they're going to start adding factions and characters. They gave me, like, an upload schedule in terms of how their content comes out. I think I can't remember. I think it's every 6 weeks they're going to start working on a new faction or something along those lines. So there's going to be constant updates to the game. there's, you know, this is basically just a day one account right now, so I can't really show much, but there's a ton of different raids and game modes and guild stuff that I obviously don't have access to on this like level 1 account. But I have high hopes that there's actually an event coming up, so you guys should actually start playing and start grinding and get into a guild, because there's like, I think their version of GAC is like starting soon, and it's actually live PvP, I believe, so you can actually play against the other person live, and like, since it is a turn-based, like moving your hex, and there is a fair amount of strategy because you have to worry about terrain and height and all this other stuff. It's pretty interesting. So if you guys want to, you know, be a part of, it will be my first GAC, and possibly fight me because my account's still pretty low level. It's only about a week old. Get in there, fucking grind. Use the referral code VAT80MAX, all caps with dashes. And you guys can come play with me. Maybe you'll join my guild. Maybe we'll have fun. And I'm just happy that this game exists. And I think if it becomes popular enough on this channel, I might start covering it. So thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I love you, and I'll see you later.